Ananya, the year really started on a very good note for you. First, this bona fide hit with Gheraiya, and now this association with this Timeware brand. You are having a good time. Correct to say you're using your time wisely?
Yes, I'm trying to use my time wisely, and I have Esprit to help me with that. But it started off great, of course, with Gehraiyaan and the way that people reacted to it and the love that all of us got for the film. And now joining the Esprit family is like the cherry on top to this amazing year already. So I'm very
How,
excited.
sure. So, how do you define your association with Esprit watches?
I would like to use the word timeless, even though it's all about time. It's an extremely youth centric, bold, fun brand, which I think really resonates with my personality and the kind of person that I am. And the attitude is all about, being a go getter, being a hustler, respecting your time, and just being as real and rare as possible. And I think that that's exactly what I stand for. So it's like the perfect association.
Since we're talking about endorsements, this also means money. Do you remember when you started valuing money?
I've always valued money. Growing up, my father and mother, they've always instilled the importance of hard work and respecting the money that you earn. So it's my dad used to always say, money is not grown on trees. He would always instill that idea in our mind. And I've always associated money with hard work.
You recently posted a photo on your Instagram about preparing for Kho Gaye Hum Kahan, starring
Yes.
Siddharth Chaturvedi and Adarsh Gaurav. In that
Yes.
post, we can see some markers and pencils. So, what type of question you generally ask a director when you're starting on a movie, like work on a movie?
Every question, I'm like one of those over eager students, those first benchers who has many questions to ask the teacher. I've always been like that, even when I was in school. So I like to know everything because I feel like at the end of the day, the director and the writers have written this character and they have certain ideas about the way that the character's arc pans out. So everything. And I feel like with Arjun, who's directing the film, there's a lot of his life that he's borrowed and put into all the characters and the scenarios. So I would like to hear his perspective, his experiences, and take whatever I can from it. So I think it's the most important association on set between the actor and the director and kind of them becoming one.
So, when you start work on a movie, even say, after attending workshops and dialogue reading sessions, do you look forward to maybe a pep talk or a kind of motivational speech from director, especially on day one?
I don't know. I think I'm very hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic, and I'm someone who's always seeking validation on set, and especially from the director. So I think I just have to kind of go and do that first day and do that first shot and just feel. I think it's all about me having that switch where I'm like, okay, now this is my character. Now I'm not Ananya anymore. This is a choice that my character would make and not Ananya as the person. So I think because I'm so hard on myself, it's something that has to come from within.
So is
That
so is day one is always like an easy scene for you, or it's always you thrown in a deep end on day one generally?
it depends with every film. With Student of the Year, we started with a song.
Okay.
That was my first shot in a film ever. Was a small montage cut in a song, and then with Khali Pili, I remember there was an extremely hard and extremely important scene that was our first day. So I think it completely depends on what the director chooses, and they're both equally exciting. On one hand, if you're starting off with something easy, you're getting that time to kind of find your character, and if you're thrown into the deep end, sometimes you're surprised by your own choices and the serendipity moments that come out of it.
In your interview with Elle Magazine, you said that you discussed everything under the sun with your close friends Suhana Khan and Chanaya Kapoor.
Yes.
Both will be soon seen in their respective debut film. Suhana is doing Zoya Akhtar's adaptation of Archie comics and Chanaya in Bhedarak. You are the one who's most experienced of the lot. So because you've been part of 5 films now, I'm counting Liger as well. What piece of advice you gave them when they started their individual film journey?
I feel like in friendships, it's a normal conversation. I don't think I ever think of it as like I need to give them any sort of advice because I think that incredibly intelligent, and they have to kind of make their own path, they have to make their own mistakes, and they have to learn from it themselves, because that's what I did, and that's what my family kind of let me do. They wanted me to have my own journey. So that's what I'd wish for them. I'm always there to help them, and even I've only started out, like it's literally my third year in the industry, so I'm no one to give them any
But
advice.
did you have a like a debut film type of conversation with them
No,
when?
I normally share my experiences as I would with any of my friends, not just because they are going to be actors also, normally, like, you speak about, oh, this happened on set today and that happened to me in my first film. So it's more of a normal conversation rather than like me sitting like some, veteran and giving them advice. It's not like that at all. I learned so much from them as well, because both of them are such gifted actors in their own way. So it's always a give and take.
You are somebody who have tasted success at an early age. You have this massive fan following on social media. So what does fame means to Ananya Pandey?
I think my relationship with fame has changed a lot from when I started out. I always thought it's this big glamorous world, where we have to dress up every day and walk on red carpets every day, and everywhere you go, that people are going to be clicking your photos. And getting into the industry, it's very very different. All of the main work that we're here for is to act, and fame is a byproduct of that. It's like the cherry on top. It's I'm very grateful for all the love that I've got from my very first film. Still when people come up to me and talk to me about how relatable my character has been, or one particular scene that they liked, or they tell me to say one of those dialogues from Student of the Year, it's as exciting as the first time that someone asked me. So it's kind of become a very gratifying experience, fame. It's more for me the love and the encouragement that I get from the audience rather than this glamour side. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the same interview, you said that you like to play a character like Geet from Jab We Met.
Yeah.
My question is, why Geet and why not somebody who's more interesting in a way, whom Ananya, the person, knows or understands well? And like, don't you want to play somebody who reflects the mind and heartbeat of today's generation?
But I think Geet is the perfect example of that, because she was so unabashedly herself, and she was a go-getter. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she would do anything to get that. And she had, something that I loved about Geet was how unafraid she was to love everyone and love herself. And I think that's something that I stand for as well. And I love the beautiful character arc. She changed so much, but she still kept her her inner self and her inner child alive. So I think it's the best example of how at least I strive to be in life. So as an actor, I don't want to limit myself and box myself into only playing particular characters. But because I recently rewatched Jab We Met, I just found the nuances that Kareena played it with, just small changes in her expression, just when her cheeks just naturally turned red when she was sad, like those things are really beautiful.
Think pink cherry on top, some of the coolest Instagram captions that I came across on your Insta. Have you now mastered the technique of putting these cool captions on Instagram, or is this something you still wrestle hard with?
No, I feel like sometimes, some days it comes really fast, or some days I'm sitting for hours and I just put out one emoji, or I literally write. Sometimes I can't think of a caption because I just try to be as real and honest as possible. In real life, I crack very bad jokes. So that kind of translates onto my Instagram as well.
And finally, what is that one thing that you always carry with you on the sets, Ananya, that help you with your craft?
So I definitely have my Esprit watch with me everywhere that I go, because I'm someone who's extremely particular about being on time, and time is our biggest, gift in that way. And we have to learn to respect our time, especially as actors, because there's a whole set there, and you have to be on time, and There's so much to get done. So I think respecting time is the most important. I always carry a book with me whenever I go on set. For me, perfume is extremely important. Right before I walk out of my van, I need to, get this particular scent that just reminds me of the character. I'm also very big on music. Yeah. So I always have my speakers with me, and I always have particular songs for situations or characters.
So what song you generally play when you have an emotional scene?
So in Gehraiyan, with Sid, particularly with Tian Zain's dynamic, I had the song "Cold Mess" by Prateek Kuhad. That was my song that just brought me back into the dynamics that Tian Zain shared.
Oh, nice. Ananya Pandey, thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Lovely speaking to you.
Same here. Thanks. Thank you, Ananya.
Bye.